You
You
gotta turn
got
on your mic, Juan.
yeah, you got unmute.
How about now?
There you
There
go.
you go.
Okay,
How you
okay.
doing, Juan? Nice
All
to
right.
meet you.
Nice to meet you guys too. It's my first time checking you guys out.
Yeah, we just started not too long ago, and the group is getting stronger. Are you a driver?
Owner operator, sir. I've been driving as a company driver for 15 years, and I've been owning my own truck 3 years ago.
Oh wow! How you doing? How's the business doing? Are you feeling the crunch?
Oh yeah, bro. That's why I got in touch with you guys because, oh man, it's bad, bro.
Well, this is a good topic here. How brokerage works. There's a lot of knowledge in the group. Hopefully, some of this information will help you because I know the whole logistic industry is struggling. The whole supply chain is struggling.
Oh yeah, we are. We are. I live right next to the border in Calexico, California. The Mexican border is Mexicali, and they barely making any loads coming back. So I work with Mexican loads. That's my usual. That's my usual runs. But
Oh,
right now they're not crowding a lot, to be honest.
oh wow! So I believe the tariffs are probably hurting you guys.
Oh yes, they are. They are. Believe me.
I think they've been hurting everyone because I noticed the company that I have a direct account is it's in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Their business slowed down a lot. Also, I've been watching the load boards. The load boards, for example, we had a lane into Colorado and back, or the Midwest and back. It's dry. It's dry. So
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah, it is.
everywhere is hurting.
Yeah. I just drop a load. I'm coming empty. I just drove 100 miles empty coming back home from what you call it, Montana, from Billings, Montana. I went up all right, but it's counted as a round trip because there's nothing to hold back. It's dead out there.
Oh yeah, I used to haul bees into Montana's and South Dakota, and those are dead zones. What do you drive? What equipment do you
I
drive?
got a drive in.
Oh yeah, those are. I used to drive a flatbed in there with bees, and those two states, they're dead zones
Yeah,
for basically anything. So you have to uh, make your profit for, like you said,
round
the
trip.
round
Yeah,
trip.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I did. So I charged the broker the round trip, and it didn't say, like no or yes. He goes like, work me with me, blah blah blah, work with me. So we got on the medium rate. So it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that good. So it's all right. Yeah.
I call it survival
Oh
mode.
yeah,
We're
yeah. Honestly, man.
yeah, we're
Honestly, man. I used to
yeah.
have this direct load from Landstar from Calexico to Sterling, North Dakota, and some other guys, and I did that dedicated load for a year and a half. And man, these guys, if someone sees you're doing all right, they want to get into it too, but cheaper. So they got with this broker that I was working with, and they took all the loads from me, man, for cheaper price.
Yeah, you know what? This reminds me of the old days versus nowadays. I know you've been around for a while. Before, I used to do business with relationships, and the same thing happened to me in the bloodbath of when was it? 2009,
Yeah.
when the
Oh yeah,
bloodbath
yeah,
took
yeah, yeah.
place, and I lost a couple of direct customers that I had with because it got so bad that when I was making 250 per mile, somebody bid like $1.80. So my relationship that I had for like 10 years didn't count. The
Exactly,
money, was more
Exactly.
important than the handshake.
It's a business. No, I understand that it's a business, but at the same time, I say, hey, we worked together 2 years. Come on, like it wasn't worth nothing. It wasn't worth nothing. Missing parties with my family, missing this, missing that. That wasn't worth anything for them.
Unfortunately, we
And
live
you know
in the
what?
times.
You know what is my fucking that I'm mad of? That it's a Mexican company. That's the issue. It's a cross the border company. That's what I get mad of it. It's a Mexican company.
Oh yeah, yeah, brother. I think the Franklin is the best friend nowadays. That
Yeah, bro.
symbol in the dollar, it's what's king right now. And like you said, sometimes like if you have this old school way of a handshake, it's a yes means yes, no means no, and you're faithful to somebody.
Yeah,
You know what? All that time you invested in them, you did extra favors for them. It might not count, and it's
yeah,
very sad, bro. I went
yeah,
I went through the same thing.
yeah. That the way that you could have said it perfect, bro. That was exactly the way you said it. That's the way it is. That's the way it happened to me.
Yeah,
This happened. I was doing great, man, since the blood bath. This blood bath's been doing for 3 years now since I got the truck, and I did great for 2 years till past. I think it was in September when I just they just stopped giving me those loans from since September to right now. I've been struggling, man.
yeah. You just struggling like the rest of
Exactly, exactly,
all of us. Yeah,
exactly.
I call it survival mode. The good news about it is if you manage to survive it, then you will capitalize because little by little, I don't know right now, but I think I don't even want to mention the number, but it was an astronomical number of carriers shutting down. So
Oh,
eventually, we call it capacity adjustment, right? Where
yeah.
supply and demand is king,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's too many going out of business daily.
Oh, yeah.
Too many. So if you survive that, eventually, they're going to make sure they have your truck because I think the last meeting we had last week, somebody was noticing up north, maybe in the Idaho or the Utah area where they couldn't even find trucks. So it's getting there, but it's gonna take a while for all the areas to have the same issue. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
be patient. I hope you have a good plan to uh, to keep yourself going because it does break your motivation, right? It does mess around with your faith in it.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I throughout the years I've been trying to investigate the best ways to save on fuel, the best ways to save on repairs, all these things that hurt us as owner operators or fleet owners. All these things matter now because if you didn't have good practices on saving on fuel, saving on repairs, saving on even yard rental, right? Or even on the way we pay the drivers, things like that. They might hurt us now. So right now, those little issues are very important because if you have a good fuel program, a good maintenance program,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these things are thousands of dollars. I remember, for example, I did an investigation with 7 trucks with just the fuel system, and I ended up with Maverick, for example, Maverick fueling at the Mavericks, and I compare Mavericks towards pilots flying J's and Loves, and even though I was a flying J pilot, faithful customer, I was only saving eight cents per mile. That's what they were giving me. But when I started fueling up a Mavericks and then became a loyalty customer, I was saving close to like 50 cents. So when I added the numbers for the 7 trucks, it was $37,000 per year.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. I got TCS. I got the TCS program with the Apex. a
Oh, good
factory.
for you.
Yeah, and
Good.
they gave me great fucking discount, bro. It's part of my language, but they give me. I always fill up at or either TA or petrol or the mom and pop shops, and they gave
There
me
you go.
sometimes even more than $1 discount on a gallon, 50
Oh,
cents, sixty
that's
cents, a
yeah.
dollar. It's always good the petrol TA with the TCS program. Yeah.
Oh, that yeah, that's great that you have a program set up because a dollar discount makes a lot of difference. Uh, of course, if you're a driver, you don't care. You just want to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
you have fuel in there and run it. But if you're an investor, or fleet owner, or just simply a driver, or owner operator, man, it hits a pocket directly. And
oh
some
yeah,
people, like ourselves, we didn't really have a plan as far as saving money. But when the bloodbath came, man, believe me, we were like trying to save money just to stay afloat. So, being part of a group with 6,000 driver owner operators, I felt obligated to investigate
yeah, yeah.
systems, the way we can save money and stay afloat. And when I did that investigation for myself and I shared in the group, man, it was a lifesaver. And sometimes we don't take it that seriously, but it does accumulate to the bottom line.
Yes, no doubt, sir. That's right. But yeah,
Yes, sir.
right now we're struggling with them loads. They're paying $1.50, $1.60, man. Seriously, I used to run Florida. The last run that I did to Florida, I got it for 6,000. It wasn't that bad out of Calexico. There was 2,400 miles. It's not bad, It wasn't. It was nothing better around. So now they're trying to go for 4,800. Seriously?
Oh, wow. That is a
Yeah,
major cutback. Yeah,
exactly,
before I remember we used to call it a holdback, right? And we like, as long as it pays for fuel and it gets me to a place where I can reload, it's not bad. But little though we know that we're hurting ourselves because these brokers get paid the same. They get
exactly.
paid the same and they give us peanuts for that load. And sometimes we just doing loads for free just to survive. But the honest truth is, a lot of these new carriers, they don't know what it takes to run the truck per mile, like
Exactly.
considering insurance, maintenance, fuel, yard, all the
Everything, everything.
numbers there.
All the expenses.
Yeah, and they don't know how to accumulate, this data and come up with a bottom number. And if you ask a lot of these owner operators, hey, how much does it take you to run a mile in your business? They might not know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and the way I see it, the way, I don't know if you agree with the experience you have, but the first ones that go are the investors if they still have loans to pay every monthly on the tractor trailer, plus a driver, plus fuel, plus insurance. Those are the first ones to drop because they can't cover all their bills. And
Exactly. My friend, yeah, my friend has 4 trucks, and well, one of the good things that he pay already, he has four. He still owns 6 months in one truck. The other three are paid for. So he had drivers and everything, but since the bloodbath started, he had to let him go. So he's just driving by himself with one truck, with the one that he still sold 6 months.
wow,
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, he had to let go of the drivers, and he's just working by himself. And then one
awesome.
truck that he still owns to a bank, only 6 months more, and that's it.
Oh, that's a very good example of what I'm talking about. And then it hurt because post COVID, the rates started going up because they couldn't find drivers. So they went like from 40 cents up to like 70, 80 cents. And once
Yeah,
you hire a driver, they're going to expect that 70, 80 cents. But then
exactly.
when your mile is going less and less, how can you pay this amount of money to per mile? I mean, you want to keep them and you want to help them out because as when we hire drivers, we feel responsible for their income. So man, how can you tell them, look, bro, I was paying you 70 cents per mile, but right now they're paying me less, so I'm gonna have to pay you 70. I mean, it kind of
Yeah,
hurts, right? It kind of sounds bad because they think that you are treating them bad, but in reality, they don't understand the business. And frankly, probably they don't even care. They don't understand.
yeah, that's right. Though that's why you have to let them go though, because he don't want to lower their race. So you know what? He just shut down the insurance and the three trucks and just drive one by himself, like me. There's one man show, you know.
Yes,
Till
sir.
till this till deal to see if this load picks up in the future. Like on my truck, I only own like a couple of more months, and that's it. That's why I'm still holding on it, you know. Just wanna pay it, and to see if it's gonna work it out or not, you know. But it still is mine. Like, after I pay, I can stop it if I want because it's mine now. I just want to pay it, you know.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being an owner operator that you can just move the numbers around.
Yeah,
I believe if you're taking $2,000 a week home, but you have to sacrifice, and you say, well, you know what, I'm gonna keep the business going, and I'm gonna take 1,000 home, just to help the business survive. You know, those are the choices that we have, and
yeah,
it works out. You know, like I said, this is like survival mode. If you manage to survive until the adjustment takes place, you might hit the jackpot. Who knows, right? We're only hoping.
yeah.
So
That's
I
what we're
gotta
waiting,
jump
man.
in there
That's
real
we're
quick.
waiting.
Yes, sir.
So here's the thing: is a business shouldn't have to adjust their pay, right? It should always be the same, if not even going up. But at the same time, we do have that option, right? But like I was saying, we shouldn't have to adjust our pay, especially when the brokers are actually getting the amount of money that they actually get for these loads. These brokers are actually manipulating the market to benefit themselves. Michael,
I
I got a
agree.
question. Yeah, Michael, I
I
got a
ag-
question. I thought we were able to access the Google Drive
From where?
from here, from X.
What do you mean access to Google Drive? Google Drive is a
I
link
thought we
from.
could pull. I thought we could actually pull the stuff off of Google Drive.
Hold on.
It's not giving me the option to go to my Google Drive.
how you doing, Truckwash? Welcome.
Hey, Truckwise, I sent you a mic. All you gotta do is accept it. You too, Mitchell. You already know how this works. Mitchell's at home, so he might not take a mic.
Thank
He
you.
might just listen tonight. Yeah, no problem. So Truckwise is actually one of our insurance agents that we're going to be working with the for the collective.
Oh, great. Yeah, maybe we should have a topic also about insurance because, man, we
Yeah,
have
we
a
will.
lot to share about it.
We are here soon, probably in the next few weeks, within the next month.
Yeah, sometimes we don't, as the industry changes, we might have the same accounts with the same agent for years, right? I'm speaking for myself. I had an agent, local agent, and I had Great West for like 14 years straight. So I didn't know because I needed to add other drivers or I needed to restart an MC number. When I realized that Great West didn't take new MCs, I had to shop around, and wow, it was treacherous out there when we explored the insurance service industry. So that's good that you have somebody that might know a little bit here about insurance.
Yeah, I mean, insurance is pretty tough, especially right now. I mean, just to kind of give you guys a quick background on it without going into a whole spiel, the bind ratio for a new venture, new authority, whether you had 15 years of experience or 2 years of experience, used to be around 35 to 50% bind ratio. After November, from November to year to date, the bind ratio is about 5%. If that tells you what the insurance markets are charging right now for new ventures. A lot of companies, after the whole election and everything, held off because they didn't know what the regulations were going to look like, what the requirements were going to look like. Because as much as these insurance companies charge rules, the insurance commissioner really kind of caps these insurance at what's right, what's wrong. So, um, with legislation changes, commissioners change, so on and so forth. So, I mean, the bind ratio right now has went down significantly. There's not a lot of new ventures binding unless they have at least 5 years of Class A CDL experience and they're over the age of 35 with a clean driving record. That's really the only thing that's actually allowing these guys to bind at a decent rate.
Oh wow! So that is good news, right? If I'm understanding correctly.
Not necessarily, because that means that if the insurance companies are holding back and raising rates, big clients like ourselves, we insure JB Hunt, Schneider, RNS tank lines, RNN tank lines, CRST, and so everybody across the board, for the most part, is receiving rate increases, or they're having to raise their deductibles to keep the same rates. So it's not good for anybody, because once again, everybody knows insurance markets are out there for profit, just like you guys are, just like the brokers are, so on and so forth. But these insurance companies, they don't take losses, or they don't at least take them well. So if there's a significant amount of losses, like the whole loss going on with Swift has a what's called a pyramid deductible. So the max payout for them is $10 million until and then the insurance companies are of course involved after 2 million. So then they work out with the insurance company how much they want to split it depending on how many years they've been with them, how much premium they've paid, so on and so forth. So when you're going into situations like this with a potential nuclear verdict, it could be catastrophic for whatever insurance company or companies that they're partnered with,
So
which
it,
means any. Oh, go ahead.
so if you don't mind me asking, maybe I am the one that needs to be informed. And even if you did inform me, me being a dinosaur and being in the trunk too long, can you explain the percentages and what they mean? Obviously, I didn't understood you uh, how I thought I did. Can you explain the ratios and what the administration did and how the insurance companies are thinking? If you don't mind me just regressing a little bit, this way I can get a full understanding instead of pretending that I understand you.
No, absolutely, I respect that. So, um, really, it's not even that the industry has necessarily changed on behalf of the insurance markets, but anytime there's a new administration, everybody knows things change and they change quick, at least right off the bat. And we all saw a lot of executive orders, a lot of executive orders getting pushed out right off the bat as soon as he took office. And so insurance companies, when that happens, every 4 years they go on what's called a circular reset. And so they will stop. They will say, hey, new ventures, we're going to increase the rates significantly to basically where we'll offer rates, but they have to pay us for it, because whatever changes could fluctuate what we actually are going to charge for that rate, depending on if there's oh, let's see. I mean, the best one is Swift. So the best example that I can give you is Swift, based on, okay, well, if a law changed to where and the FMCSA or whatever it may be pushes truckers to have more backing from the government saying, hey, no, if you're actually in the wrong at all as a four-wheeler, you can't sue the trucking company. But also, it could kind of go the completely opposite direction. And these insurance companies don't know what that agenda looks like because nobody really ever talks about it. So they basically put like a freeze out there and say, hey, if you want to quote for a new venture, it's going to cost this much. They start getting bare minimum, they get minimum premiums, they get earned premiums. So if you sign a policy with them out of Georgia, most companies right now out of Georgia, like Progressive, have a minimum premium out of Georgia for $35,000 for auto liability.
Wow.
Like, and it's extremely expensive at that point. So a lot of these companies that aren't the JB Hunts, aren't the Schneiders, aren't the Swifts, aren't the CRSTs, those companies have 5-year contracts, 10-year contracts, 20-year contracts, even to where, hey, our rates are to stay the same, whether the market.
Wow, that is a wealth of knowledge. I thank you for breaking it down. I understand now. Wow, so it's actually gonna get worse rather than better because of the instability of the unknown.
Yes, at least usually for the first 6 months to a year. So right now we're starting to see them kind of release a little bit better quotes. Like yesterday, I got a quote for a gentleman with 3+ years of Class A CDL experience, based out of Arizona. Got him a 13 grand quote because he's hauling boats within a 50-mile radius. That's a great quote for someone who's doing that because one boat can run them 5 grand in revenue after everything's paid. So, I mean, a guy like that after 3 or 4 loads is going to pay off his whole insurance policy. So it's amazing. It's starting to get a little bit better. We're starting to see a little bit better rates, but right now the rates aren't good enough still for those Georgia drivers, Florida drivers. New York has one insurance company that'll quote a new venture like Progressive, which they even have to jump through 14 different hoops to even get that coverage. And then you have California and Texas and Louisiana. Louisiana is, of course, in the same boat as New York. So a huge player right now that we're actually working on getting direct appointment with is Geico. Geico's coming in. When a new insurance company comes in, you want to look at them immediately because at that point they're trying to buy business. So they're going to undercut your Great Wests, your Northlands, your Canals, your Progressives. They're going to undercut those prices to make sure that they get business that's earning premium. So if you ever hear, hey, we got a new insurance market that just came in, jump on it. Get a quote from them. See what they want. See if you're a right fit for them. Geico was coming in with $11,000, $12,000 quotes out of Florida, which has been unheard of for years.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you for your wisdom, your knowledge here, because you have a lot to share with us to kind of educate us. Let me ask you something. If I was a little bit changing of topic, as truck drivers, and you being, I don't know if you're an insurance agent or an insurance representative, but what do you recommend for us truck drivers to watch out for? Is it like cargo theft? Is it like equipment theft? Or accidents? What do you recommend for us truck drivers to be more vigilant on, if I may ask?
So one thing that so we're an insurance brokerage. So we broker out insurance. We shop for you. The insurance company pays us a percentage of it. Do they bake that into your policy? 100%. So that's the first thing I want to get off the board. We're not doing it for free. Of course, everybody that's in the trucking industry that is not a truck driver is in it to get money out of your pockets. I'll be 100% transparent about that. I'll probably be one of the few brokers that'll tell you that up front. The
Yes,
second
sir.
thing is the things that you need to watch out for are honestly brokers and insurance brokers like myself that you need to vet, not just your drivers. You don't need to vet just your drivers. You need to vet your insurance broker. Make sure it's someone you get along with. Make sure it's someone who's being transparent. If you catch them on something and say, hey, this is wrong, I didn't say this, this is what I wanted, are they going to say, nope, you said this is what you wanted, blah, blah, blah? Or are they going to say, okay, help me understand what your actual needs are and not get defensive? Because those are the two types of different brokers that are out there. And I'll tell you, the ones that are trying to understand your business, that are only doing what they're told about your business and are still trying to understand it are the ones that you want to work with. Even though, yes, they may have messed up a coverage, it's going to be based on the information that was provided to them. But they'll sit there and say, oh, I misunderstood you. Let's go ahead and get this taken care of. Hey, this is going to cost more premium than we expected. Get an insurance brokerage that sits here and says, hey, not only do we sell insurance and shop it out for you yearly, but we also have other resources to make sure that you and your company stay afloat even in hard times like this. So, like for example, like my company, we offer a free overview as many times as you really need it. We offer safety programs. We partner with companies to handle your safety. We partner with lawyers and attorneys. So that way you guys get discounts if you guys get into a lawsuit for a claim. Um, we even go over your deadhead ranges and miles and contracts, and we'll sit here and say, hey, is this contract really worth it? Because these are the deadhead miles you're looking at, and this is how much these claims are costing you. Does that really sound worth it to you? So you get an insurance broker that actually works with you, doesn't just sit you and forget you because you're an investment. So that's the as far as the insurance side of things, that's what I'd look out for. Now on the other hand, outside of insurance, things to look out for is, of course, I mean, a huge deal right now, at least in the insurance company, is factoring. Factoring has been an issue from our side, our point of view, because now you're taking additional money out for getting paid early. The people who are offering all these services, one thing that I always tell my clients is if you can do it yourself and you know how to do it yourself. Don't pay someone and then turn around and complain about your margins. Because if you are paying other people to do what you can do yourself, then there's no reason to complain about margins because you have enough money to pay for that service. So cut your services down. Cut down on things that aren't really a necessity. If you're really into running your own trucking company, run your own trucking company. Get some advice from, an insurance broker who has those resources, says, hey, we charge for this, but this is how this works. If it's something that's going to benefit you and make sure that you save money, by all means go for it. But as far as doing your MCS 150s and setting up your DOT, yes, it takes time. But if you're on top of it, you should have nobody charging you $400 to register or do anything with your MCS 150. That's just silly. It's a document. Download it off the FMCSA website. That's all they're doing.
Wow, that's a tons of a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for taking the time. But as truck drivers, you as an insurance agent, what claims have you seen
Hey,
besides
Ignacio,
brokers? Yes, sir.
let's stay on topic. We'll go over the
Okay.
insurance here in a few weeks.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure Truckwise will come in. And I'm going to try to get our other insurance agent that we're going to be working with as well in here for
Yes,
that one.
sir.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to get some people in here. I started
Yeah,
this. I lost track of time on this room. Yeah,
and that's why
so
I
I'm
was
like
doing
way
it.
behind.
That's why I was doing it just uh to make some sense out of the time here until you get ready to stay on topic.
Yeah, well, yeah, the broker that was supposed to come in, I actually had a broker and a truck driver that actually started working for corporate America, is what he says. But he was a truck driver and owned his own company and everything. I was going to have him in here, but neither one of them's coming in. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we're ready whenever you're ready to hit the topic.
Yeah, and Michael, do you know how to get the stuff off of Google Drive?
You got to copy it to your regular drive. I already told you have a folder ready to get, and not on
Yeah, I
Google.
did. Yeah, and I put it on Google Drive because I thought we had
Yeah,
access
no,
to Google Drive.
not through here. You don't. You have that through your main
Uh,
computer through Google. You can do it through Sheets if you want to. But that's going to be a pain in the ass. I told you to have it. I mean, maybe we should just postpone this particular one and keep going with the insurance. I mean, you're already. I mean, I called you and told you had 1 minute to start, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, so uh,
Yeah, from now on, just so people know, we're actually going to do a timer, try to get a timer going, and we're going to come in and start setting up the room, and it'll say like 20 minutes to the room starting or whatever. The room will be there, but there won't be anybody that's going to be discussing anything. It'll just be like a timer. We'll be in the background setting stuff up. You're welcome to come in and chit chat, but we're going to start doing that because we got a lot of stuff that was supposed to go in, and like I told you know Justice, we probably should postpone this one. We're too far behind.
yeah, I mean, if you get, oh, Sharkwise left. I don't know if we lost service or what. Or maybe he got mad because, yeah. Anyways, um, so I do have most of the stuff up. The only thing that I don't have up is actually some of the loads that I did. That was actually had 4 different brokers into it. Another one had 3 different brokerages in it. And then I actually did have a transparency one that I was going to share too. The transparency that I actually got, they ended up getting $5,400 for that load. The broker did. That's what the broker was paid. And they were trying to move it for 4,200 on the load board for like a 1,600 mile run. It was 22% margin that they were trying to keep.
I saw the correction from Lamb on that Cheetah versus
That,
TKL. So I was able to read the breakdown on the little chat you had with Lamb from Noah.
yeah, Lamb's not from NOAA.
Lamb,
Lamb is SBTC,
yeah.
Small Business Trucking Coalition. Um, but the thing you need to understand with that is they're trying to backtrack now and say that there was a lumpers fee in it, and there was also something else. And I don't remember. There was 2 things that were in
Uh,
it. And if you actually look at that, you have to look at what they were actually paid because they were reimbursed for that. So they're trying to say,
mhm.
oh, no, that was actually pulled out of it and we didn't make that much. And they're full of shit because we want to see the actual payout because we know they charged more for both of those things. Because here's the thing, right? $120, $200 10U that you get, I've been told by 2 people now that that is over $1,200. And in one case, it was $1,500 for a ton-U. It was more expensive for him to have a ton-U than to run the truck empty and say it was loaded and pay for the load.
Hey, gentlemen, the
Yeah.
one man that was supposed to speak is in the comments. He said he's been here since the beginning.
Okay.
Charles Reese.
Yeah, he's not shown in the space.
I just wanted to let you know that.
But why is he not showing? Is he down at the bottom?
Yes,
Is he not like in the room?
he's he's in the room, but he's showing up as probable spam
Probable spam.
in the comments,
I'm
Hmm.
not even seeing them in the comments. The only thing that's in the
all the
oh,
way down at the bottom. Show probable spam. He
Yeah,
sent.
He might be in the dark if it says one listener at the bottom. He's not actually in the room.
Yeah, he's in the background.
Yeah, he can't do
So
that. He
Charles,
can't come up doing that. He's got
yeah,
to come into the room. He can't come
yeah,
in anonymous.
yeah, you can't come in anonymous for one.
Yeah,
And
you
if you're
can't.
actually on the website, I don't, no, even if you're on the website, you should be able to come in.
Yeah, you just uncheck the thing that says come in anonymous.
Yeah, uncheck the anonymous
He has to
box.
go back out and come back in, relog in, so it's not coming in anonymous.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Much love. Uh,
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out.
where did my backpack go? Oh, that was great there, dipshit. Come out in front of a 127,000 pound truck, you dick.
But yeah, we're gonna have to do this topic over.
Yeah, there's not enough time, dude. There's way too much to go through.
Eh, Sorry about that, Ignacio. I was trying to stay on topic, but yeah,
No, no,
we already
It's
lost
already
we all
screwed.
have
too much time.
lives. We have all, we all have lives and families and businesses. And you're doing a great job. Just, I understand about just losing track of time. That's understandable. As long as we continue to do it, uh,
Oh,
I
that, and
want
I
to thank
thought I
Kat.
had, I thought I was gonna be able to pull this stuff off of Google Drive, so I had everything under my Google Drive under one folder.
Copy and paste the Google Drive to your desktop. If you copy the Google Drive to your desktop, or Google Drive folder to your desktop, then it'll all be right there. And it shouldn't take too long because it's,
I don't have a desktop, Michael. It's all on my phone. But
well, then you have a home screen. Justice.
yeah, I do.
Well, then there's that.
Let's see.
And yeah, I just let the room flow the way it's going to flow, dude. We're going to bag the topic for the night.
Yeah, the guy, what is it? The insurance guy, I just read on his comments, he had to leave for a reveal party.
Yeah.
So we
Or
lost him, but that was tons of knowledge there, something that I'm ignorant about, like on the recent updates with the insurance industry. So I'm pretty sure, even as Juan trying to survive this bloodbath here, I'm pretty sure he got a few of the tips there on what to look for with the insurance. Kathy, I want to thank you for being active on the group. One of the things that I want to mention, since we kind of freestyling here, I believe we had like 17 members to 19 members to like 40 now. It kind of doubled. I trust you guys, and I invited some of my close friends into the group. They looks like they all joined the group, so it
nice.
doubled in numbers here. So thank you,
Yeah.
Kathy, for being involved and engaged in the group. You too, Chris. I will continue to uh, encourage you guys to be more active if possible. Little things. I mean, it don't have to be just one thing. It can be anything. And I'll let you guys tell me, direct me. Hey, you're doing a little bit too much of Jesus. You're doing too much of jokes. You doing too much of this and that. And I'm open to kind of be guided by you guys if you see something too strong or overdone. But I want to
No.
thank you guys for being engaging in there. This is what brings members in there.
You're welcome.
Yep. Ouch.
What's up, Dayton?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yeah, I figured it was you, Womack.
Yeah, we got some stuff going on right now, so we're trying to get it all straightened out.
No, you're good. We ended up having some technical difficulties, and
Technical difficulty was you sleeping in.
no,
That
I
was a
wasn't
damn technical
sleeping.
difficulty.
I wasn't
Sure
sleeping.
sounded
I
like
just
what I
lost
called you.
track of time.
No, I
I
called
lost
you. You're
track of
like,
time.
whatever. Are you gonna start the room? Well, I was here in a couple of minutes or so. Oh, it's 1 minute to 6. Oh shit.
Yeah, I had just got done eating dinner, and I was thinking it was before, like only like before 4 o'clock.
You had a food coma.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Thanks for helping grow the room, Ignacio and Kathy.
Yeah, we
It,
appreciate
it's
it.
it's a
You're
group
welcome.
effort. It's a group effort. I encourage you guys to continue to invite your friends, especially
Well,
friends.
one thing we can do is go down to the bottom and you copy the link and then go throw it over in the Facebook groups or any Facebook groups that you're in trucking or whatever, and show that we're actually uh, live right now. You might get more people in here that way. That's how we used to do it with WM on time.
What I did, I invited drivers directly,
Yeah.
people that are engaged in the industry. I'm pretty sure, like the driver wives and the rest of the crew, like IRPs or insurance or brokers, people that we know that might want to be engaged in this might come a little bit later. But let's remember to let everyone know to share and to invite others as well. I will continue to do that. I'll work on this group thing. One of the things that I want to emphasize, kind of like what we talked about last week about embracing just even the my people, the people that not fluent in English. Well,
Yep.
according to this new bill, I believe it was proposed or kind of pushed by Lamb from
Yep.
NOAA. This is the reason why I mentioned, like, I'm holding my own people accountable for learning the language, because me being Latino or from the minority group, I did face a lot of discrimination and a lot of profiling. So for that reason, I'm inviting them to step it up a notch. I'm inviting them to learn the language rather than to avoid it. Why? Because when we do get picked on, at least we're a little bit educated, or at least we're able to protect ourselves when we are being profiled or discriminated upon. At least we can pass the test. If we continue
Mm-hmm.
to encourage them to speak Spanish and not to learn the English language, it might be a negative thing. I'm just speaking out of experience, because I'm still being profiled. I'm still being discriminated just because I drive out of California and I just happen to be Latino. I had that scenario last week. So to me, we don't do them a good service by,
May not do him justice.
yeah, we don't do them justice if we continue to set their standard. Why? Because it's not only it's not only illegal because you need to do you need to do at least the minimum of understanding of the speaking the English language, but not only that, but for what I've learned being a truck driver, being in a minority, is that you're gonna have extremists where they're gonna test you, and if
Yep.
if you're not ready to face an extremist, you're gonna fail the test and they're gonna punish you. So this is
Yep.
why I'm always pushing or expecting my own people to pick it up a notch. Why? Because if you happen to be stopped by an extremist, at least you're able to pass the test. That's why, last week I mentioned, no, they need to learn the language. They need to be able to understand and communicate properly, or at least decently, so you can pass the test. So this is why I mentioned last week, and look at what happened this week with this new bill. And Arkansas is kind of playing hardcore. I don't even know if it is an active bill yet. I don't believe
Yeah, it
it
is.
should be so. Oh, it is,
Yes, it
right?
is. Yep. They're
It's-
actually they're acting on it.
oh, wow.
There, Arkansas is starting to act on it, but it hasn't gone. It actually hasn't passed yet, but they
It
are
ain't finished
actively
passing, but it is.
acting.
That that was my understanding. So if it's just a bill being proposed and it's not legal yet, yeah, maybe they can fight it. But when you're placed under handcuffs and you're given a fine and sideline, it might be too
But
late on real
there's really
time.
nothing. There's really nothing to fight because here's the thing, right? States can pick their own laws. They're asking for it to be federal, but it is state already. They can pass their own laws at any time. They don't need anybody other than their representatives. They can do whatever it is that they want at any time, just like California passed CARB. That's not legal, not nationwide. So how are they able to do that? Because they're part of their own state regulations. So to go to their state, yes, you have to read, write, and speak English.
That's
So
very understandable. And thank you for clarifying that. That is true. And even though we run under mostly federal laws, a lot of the state laws might apply to us. And this is why truck driving is crazy, because you might be used to a state law, policies, regulations, but then you go across state lines and you're all shocked. You're like, I didn't know this. So to me, there is a problem with the system itself. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
well, I mean, that's the same as the Second Amendment. Certain states you can't have your Second Amendment in. That's their choice, right? And until that's a federal law, then there's nothing you can do about it. But those are state regulated. And here's the thing, right? Any state at any time can go and change whatever laws they want to. It's like you really can't do anything about it. It's up to the state, and the state actually has more power than the feds. And the way that the law is written, whatever one is more stringent is the one you follow.
I agree. I agree. And this is why, like me for myself, going through the struggle for decades, I recommend those people following in this bracket to pick it up a notch. It doesn't hurt to hold them accountable, or even myself coming from my own people. Hey, look, you need to pick it up. You can go to school, you can read a little bit more, you can practice with me, you can practice at home, because it's gonna hurt you eventually. So me, I'm one of those that been in the struggle, but I actually encourage for us ourselves to grow rather than to stay comfortable, because you never know what's around the corner, right? So thank you for this conversation and kind of clearing things up, because some people already got kind of hurt by this law just coming into effect overnight, right? And because they didn't pass the test, they might have been punished. So to me, maybe something to think about the Spanish group, right? That might kind of hurt them rather than to hold them accountable, make them grow. But I
Right.
don't know. It's up to you guys.
Well, like I said, that's what we're trying to do is breach that gap, and if if they come in and they listen and we're discussing things back and forth and we get, like I said, pastime for a change, the group, right, together, but you also have your separate groups so you can discuss the things and get people that cannot understand the English to understand it. And then, I mean, the problem with it is the language barrier, right? So how do we breach that gap? How do we get past that? I mean,
I'll, I'll give you a quick testimony about it. Even when you don't see it, you don't notice it. Even when we don't think about it, there's a lot of people on the sidelines. For example, I'll give you a quick testimony. There was a man that was in Colombia, right? And he's been a driver here for 20 years. And when I was in the other group, he contacted me via messengers through Facebook, and
mm,
he says, Ignacio, I have a big problem. I moved to Colombia. I saved $100,000. I opened my lumber yard here in Colombia, but now the after COVID, I lost everything. Now I need to go back into to doing what I love to do, and making some money. I want to go back to the United States as a truck driver because that's how I was able to save $100,000. But now my legal documents are expired. Can you
yeah,
help me? And you know what? Believe it or not, maybe someday I use it as testimony. He's back here driving, very happy,
mm,
very grateful. He's a winner again. It
as
was
long
through
as he
that
ain't taking
group.
cheap rates.
Well, he works for a company, so
Oh,
it's not up to him. But he's doing well. He's been back maybe for 8 months, and he's doing a great job as far as providing professional service to this company rewarding him. He's driving a brand new truck. They keep him busy, so everything's good. But you know what, one thing that he does have is that he's playing fair. He's adopting the second language, which is English. He's respecting the laws. He's behaving like a professional, so that's why I was able to help him. So just like him, I had hundreds of people reaching out to me from all over the world just because I happen to speak English. As you know, I might even
mm,
have an accent. So that's why they were able to reach out to me. So they're watching, they're listening, but until they trust and they say, well, maybe I can trust this person and let them know my story, so they're listening, they're watching, but and then they will interact. That's why it's important to grow this group so we have a wider exposure, and hoping with that interchange or interaction that we have here, they can trust us and they can be vulnerable enough to expose
vulnerable,
themselves, and this is how we
vulnerable.
can help each other.
You're saying vulnerable enough, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it, but the biggest thing is we don't have a whole lot of time to make up our minds at this point in time. I'm going to tell you that right now. No, we don't have a whole lot of time to start trusting in each other and saying, hey, maybe it is time that we join forces. Yeah, it's like the other day I go into a room, I try explaining what it is that we're doing, and the dude kicks me, right? But he didn't tell me he kicked me. So I'm driving back from Colorado, and I don't know that I've been kicked. I go back in, and he's like, and his moderator's like, who is this, pastime for a change? And he's like, oh, that's a dumbass, blah, blah, blah. I kicked him. You know, at this point in time, I am putting these people down as a list that I will not help. I don't care what happens to them, right? If they don't care because it's not affecting them right now, I don't care when it is. And that might be cold blooded, but that's who I am. Like, I'm making a list of all the people that tell me they're not interested. They will stay not interested.
But here's the thing. I'm going to share this. maybe you thought about it, maybe you don't. Like for example, like me myself, I don't appreciate strong, strong to the right, strong to the left, right? We obviously this country is divided, right? I
Right.
I I I don't support strong right, strong left. A lot of these people notice there is a lot of strong left, a lot of strong right, right, and they're very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these people are trying to study us to see if we mean well, if we are gonna accept them, if we are gonna uh, do things in common good, like for everyone, right? Because right now there's a lot of suspicion, there's a lot of attacks, there's a lot of disagreement, there's a lot of division within the country. So for us, when we're trying to do good for common good, it's very hard to convince people that they're safe with us. So we have to first do our work and let them know, listen, we welcome everyone. We're not gonna discriminate. We're not gonna be one-sided. We're not gonna be biased, right? So once they trust us, they're gonna be vulnerable and engage with us, right?
But but
So
let me
so
but let me let
yes,
me
sir.
ask you, Ignacio, what
Yeah.
is it that we are asking of them? What is it that's so scary that we are asking of them? I don't care about any other association or any other person on anywhere. What is it that we are asking them that is so scary?
Trust. That is a
Trust in
big
what?
word.
Trust in what?
Trust that you mean well for everyone. Because if I don't know if you've been experiencing or have experienced bias, profiling, discrimination. So a lot of these people listen to what's going on now, right? Even through our own friends and family, the
Hmm?
country is divided by colors, whether you're red or whether you're blue. That is a humongous division. The country is divided. Now let's go into religion. Now let's go into equipment. Now let's go about gender. Now let's go about the way you run your business.
Well,
There
yeah.
is
I
a
mean,
lot of
the government wants you that way. The government
exactly.
wants you fighting amongst each other. That way, you don't see what's actually going on in front of your face.
I agree with you 100%, right? It's the old rule, right? Divide, conquer, and destroy, right? So
Well,
we have to
it,
convince them that we are not that way, that we mean well, that we are friendly, that we welcome everyone. But by us saying it is one thing, doing it is another. Because my experience in the trucking industry, most of the souls have sold out. Do you agree?
I'm sure they have. I mean, you look at people like Mother Trucker and uh, Miranda that does the uh, whatever. She stopped doing the sonar best area to get loads, and now she's starting to put out the same information that we're putting out. But she doesn't want to join with us. We've offered, right? We've gone straight to her. Oh yeah, okay. So she's got 200,000 followers. That's great, but it kind of seems to me like she's starting to veer people off onto a different path that is not true. And I'll call you out on it all day long. Like I will put up I'll put up the the email where we have asked her to come in, and I will put her on the spot. I have no problem doing that. We did it with Mother Trucker. We called him out and told him, hey, you say that you're for the trucking industry, but here we are trying to get you to, you know, help with this movement that we're trying to have, and all you want to talk about is fake news. Really, you ruined our convoy. We called him
Uh,
out on it, and we'll continue calling him out. That's how
I
you know
agree.
real people. That's how you know real people, because they'll go after the people that you think you like hearing, like Mother Trucker and all the other ones. Look at what they're actually doing. They've stopped doing what they're doing, and now they've got this big following, and they got all these people that are doing what they're saying to do, and now they're starting to kind of tell them what we've been telling them, but they're putting a little bit of a skew on it. Like this clown that's getting ready to get a video done on him, that he's sitting here telling me how they're going to get around it. Well, guess what? I already thought of the perfect system. So it's perfect that he actually made that video so that I can show why that system needs to be put in place. Because he's right. It can be circumvented. But we've already figured out the things that circumvent all the things that they think are going to do us no good. They keep on asking us a question, right? What are you going to do with transparency? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to black out your name. I'm going to black out your customer's name, and I'm going to put it up with my name on it and show how much money I'm making. And it's going to screw you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Because it's my paper. I haven't said any of your information. I haven't told how much you paid. I just told how much I made. Problem solved. I'm a problem solver.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I agree with you 100%. But once this group has maybe 1,000, I can tell you right now, I've seen throughout the comments a certain group that feels threatened by this group already. And it's only what, like 40 members. It can grow fast, just like we saw over a week double on numbers. But as the numbers grow, the more threat they're gonna feel. When we're 40,
Why?
they're not gonna feel the threat. When they see 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, they're gonna feel the threat. Well, when we focus on one individual, then we lose the vision. If we look at the whole picture, just like you guys share the vision with me, it's gonna make a real change. When we're trying to convince one individual, one group about the vision, it's not going to make a major impact. We need to
Nope.
make a mass movement where we can all join. One of the ways that I can tell you is my reputation is still good with a lot of groups. I have groups, Spanish speaking groups that are like 40, 50, 60,000, 100,000. I can join with them at any given time. I have the
But
reputation to do that.
here's the problem. Here's the problem, Ignacio. The
Yes,
same
sir.
thing that I had with your room and getting breaching that, wall, they didn't want to lose their support in order to support us. So they would not let me put my information in their room. It's all about likes. I don't care if you put it in my room. I don't care. If you're uniting with me, if you're, fighting the same cause, go ahead, put your information up. Now, I'm not going to put my name on it for the simple reason that stuff can be switched around and then they can say, oh, well, you said this. No, I didn't. I'll
Well,
post your stuff, but I won't put up a link because you can go and change that.
well, let me remind you of this. What about a reverse action? What about when they're calling you and asking you permission to post your stuff in their group? This is what I had. They were calling
Yeah.
me, contacting me, and saying, "Can I share your stuff in my group?" Isn't that better than for you asking them to post your stuff in their group? This is the opposite,
I get it.
right?
But at the same time, you've got these people, and I'm not going to name any names, okay? Somebody makes a
Sure.
shirt, uses their emblem, and is advertising that shirt. But this person threw an ultimate fit that his copyrighted emblem was being used and not to buy their stuff. That don't make no sense to me. Hey, you want to go make 80,000 shirt team everywhere across this country? Feel free. You want to make $1 doing it? I don't care. It's all about the unity. It's all about the message. It's all about getting out there and saying something. You want to put it on a shirt and make $1? Go ahead. I don't care. Don't say that I'm making anything off of it because I'm not.
And that's a great vision. When people see the transparency, the heart in you, they will trust you, and then they will engage and be vulnerable. Until they get to know you, they will not trust you because they've been burned left and right, and you know it well. You mentioned a few, And this is why it's
Okay.
important to just continue to advocate, continue to share in good faith, continue to be impartial, and even the personal stuff. If somebody did you wrong, whatever, this group should be bigger than that. Because if we let one individual, one group kind of discourage us, we're very limited. We need to have a bigger picture than all these groups here. Once we focus on the vision and stay on course, nothing can stop us. So look at that and feel that, because once we create a group of 100, 500,000, then you're going to have a lot of power and you're going to have more enemies. Believe me, I experienced this. So to me, if you
Oh, I know.
if you stay focused on the big picture, you can be powerful in numbers, because now they trust you. Now they can be vulnerable with you, and now they can follow you until the wheels fall off. That's what I'm just trying to invite you to look at.
But see, my problem is this. They followed another group, right? And if they had done what we were doing in the first place and continued doing it and fed the people, we had an army like nobody's business. We had all of these major brokers, TQL, JB Hunt, CH Robinson, running for the hills. Okay. When they first started doing it, they said, hey, it'll be a week. We're going to send our brokers home and everything will be back to normal in a week. We'll pay them from home. If they get a load moved, great. If they don't, we don't care. We've got enough money that we can hold out. 6 months later, they're sending me texts asking me how long it's going to last, how many people have to lose their jobs before I stop doing what I'm doing. Okay?
Yeah,
That's the warriors that we had. They shut down their social media because every time they would post something like a Christmas party, our warriors would go in there and 100,000 strong messages would be like, well, it's great you can afford this. It'd be nice if you didn't rip the truck drivers off so bad that they couldn't afford to even be home right now. You know? So,
yeah.
we had the army. But the problem is if you don't feed your army, the enemy will.
I envision the group, and I think I know who you're talking about. But like you said, we're not gonna mention
You
that
know
group.
who I'm talking
Yes,
about.
sir.
You know who I'm
and
talking
and
about.
I did trusted them, and I had my faith in them until they sold out for the dollar. But you know what? It's never too late to continue the vision and to continue a clean vision for common good. You have a good support group here, and it's not how you begin, it's how you end. So as long as we have a group of clean hearts, good intentions, and respect to everyone, and welcome everyone, I believe that it will grow, and eventually, maybe you'll have what you've been looking for all this time.
Like I said, it's it's really hard for me at this point in time because again, I really don't need to do any of it, and I don't know that what I'm doing at this point in time that anybody's going to use anyway. And Freight Slaughter is about a week from being launched, just so people know.
What?
That's going to give you the ability that when somebody puts up a carrier 411 on you, you have the ability to counteract that. And now I'm going to turn it around on them and make them tell me why that freight guard is on you. Because if they can't, then it's a false freight guard and their customer will know about it because it's free. All we have to do is get the information out there that you have a place to go to find out who's good and who's bad in this industry.
I understand that thought, but to me, I go even before that step. To me, I'm still the old school and the old school way. Why do we even need brokers when you are your own independent
Well,
owner operator?
here's the reason. Here's the reason. Because you, as an independent, can go get a load according to the government. Okay, but you cannot give Juan a load. You cannot give Chris a load. You cannot give me a load. You can only get a load for you. So the broker can use can use assets that's not even theirs, or that they even know, just people calling them, but you can only use your assets. That's what needs to change. If that changes, if that law is passed, a broker will no longer be a necessity, they will be an option.
Well, there is another way though. Like for example, I can give myself as an example. I have a direct account out of Tucson coming back here, pay me
Mm-hmm.
decent to come back here, and I had a load going out there, averaging go and come back for $3 per mile. So
Mm-hmm.
if a lot of these owner operators are struggling out there and they don't have a contract, and and all of a sudden I have ways to add another truck. I had a couple of guys say, "Hey, Ignacio, if you ever had have need for another truck, let me in. I'm willing to do 3 miles per mile doing that run." You know what? I'm adding one this week. So there is a way.
Okay, now hold on before you get yourself in any more trouble. Are you putting it under your MC
Yes,
or is
sir.
it their MC?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Under.
so you're leasing on.
Yes, sir.
That is actually probably coming to an end in next couple of months because the lease program is been reevaluated and 9 people went in and said that it has to change every aspect of it. So it might work right now, right? But it doesn't mean that it's going to work down the road. They're already changing the lease option. Now they're going after the lease on.
Okay.
So
Well,
you just realize that these things are being changed around a bit. And, it might not be too much longer before you can't do that no more. You can't help people like that.
yeah. Well, it might be, but for like the
Now here's another aspect for you. To that cargo, who's responsible for it?
Well, I believe if they're insured under my own insurance, our own authority, the insurance should cover them.
Okay, the insurance will cover them. That's fine. But who is the end all responsible for it? You have a number. That number is tied to you. Your number can be ruined very easily. Okay, they could get in a major accident, and your number is the one that's going to be sued, not theirs.
That
So
is
just be
true.
real
That
cautious because you are putting your neck out on the line.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but that can happen to any single one driver, and that's why I supported
Right,
that what we call
right. But
the.
with my idea, it can't. With my idea, the person that owns the truck is the one that's going to be held responsible for their actions. You don't have to lease on. Yeah, we can have a lease program, sure, after we find out what's going to happen. But right now, we're just trying to teach drivers how to go get loads. What they don't want to move or can't move, we're going to move for them and give them a percentage for finding those loads. And if they want to find the truck to move the load, then they're going to get another percentage. And it's all going to be automated. All they got to do is put it on a board.
Yeah, well, a lot of these things, I mean, we don't know, like just like the insurance was saying, man, even the insurance companies on the sidelines just preparing for the worst, right? Uh, I mean, me myself, I don't have no fear of the future. I will just adapt like I always have, to survive within the law. But we can't be like always nervous or too afraid or what changes come, right? Like what change brings. But we must just be prepared and try to do our best to fulfill our obligations when new policies, right? Because sometimes they get harder, sometimes they get easier. But I don't know. At least for now, that's what I think we just should do. Use the law that is on hand and try to work the best we can with it.
Yep. The hell is my number? Can't find it. Yeah, 2 trucks behind me. I can't find my damn number. Nice.
You're working.
No, I have been.
Oh wow,
Whole time I've been driving.
wow. Well, thank you for working out there on the weekend.
Well, with what I'm doing now, if I don't work, you don't have fuel to put in your truck.
Yeah, yeah, that's the sentiment of most of the owner operators right now. We had Juan on the line with the same struggles. He was sharing his testimony of his house revelations right now in the industry.
No, what I'm saying is literally, if I don't do my job, you don't have fuel. I parked my truck, Ignacio.
Oh, you're on the
I work
oil,
for somebody else now.
you're on the fuel
Yep.
industry.
I'm in the crude oil. I go out in the field and pick the crude up and bring it to the refinery, which I'm getting ready to pull in, which means I won't be on the space anymore as soon as I get through.
Okay.
I got one in front of me. How many are on the rack?
Well, thank you for having the passion for the industry. Seems like you know what's going on. So you have a lot of knowledge in there, wisdom. You have a good heart in it as well. So just stay encouraged. If probably the reason why you haven't given up is because you do care, and that's what we need nowadays: people that care for the brother across our parking spot. That's what I see in this group. If I didn't see that in this group, I would not waste my time either.
Yep, I hear you.
So I don't know. Maybe we need to
What the hell
call
is
it a
going
day
on?
because it seems like this was not uh, working accordingly.
No,
It wasn't
we,
executed very
we,
well.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. We talked about this morning, and we knew that we were going to be